climax of the controversial Rugby Union Club knockout competition. But despite much altercation, England's two top clubs have come through. Bristol, pride of the West Country with 6 international players. A, incidentally, is for Knight and I for Pullin. Much to the irritation of people, these Bristol side opting for the old numbering system of letters. And Coventry, great backs there, eminent England internationals, and 4 of the forwards too. John Barton with him, he'll be wearing 14, but of course he's a number 8. Here now is Nigel Starmer-Smith.
And it's Dick Cowman to set off the game for Coventry. But straight away the referee, Mr. Johnny Johnson, has indicated a penalty, and Bristol quick to take advantage, try a quick one, but it'll have to come back. Referee not happy, so it'll be the first line out to Coventry. Coventry in their familiar blue and white stripes, Bristol in a somewhat different strip than usual, all white. John Gray throwing in. That's Munden down on it. Out on the gloss, that's Wardlow, he's a powerful fellow. Again, Coventry have the ball, a neat chip through by Billy Gittings, rolling into touch, taking play quickly down into the Bristol, well into the Bristol 25. But already we've got an injury, and it looks as though it's to the Bristol captain, John Pullin, who's rolling around in a bit of pain at the moment. See there, referee Johnson tending him, and clearly Pullin in a bit of pain at the moment. And great disappointment amongst this crowd as the Bristol player John Pullin is carried off with what looked like a serious leg injury. And what a tragedy in this opening moments of this game. And perhaps we see here once again a reason for needing substitutes in club matches of this kind. A tragic moment. Once again on the Coventry side. That's Creed going through. And an attempt at drop goal, but way off the mark there by Peter Priest. I don't think he's a drop goal specialist, and perhaps that was not quite the right thing to do early in the game with Coventry in such a fine attacking position. And a quick one taken there by Tony Nichols, the Bristol captain. But not much coming out of that, and finally Coventry bundling Bristol into touch. 7 minutes gone and still no score in this knockout final. Back on the Bristol side to Pern under pressure, but neatly getting a kick into touch there, taking the pressure off his 14-man Bristol side. The bearded Alan Pern, a prolific goal kicker too, and he's someone Coventry must watch out for this afternoon. Scramble ball finally back to Coventry. And still powering through, but no one managing to get hold till finally it's Rollitt with the ball powering through the middle. He takes some stopping. Aggressive player, but they've got to come back. It's to no avail. It was a slightly forward pass by Rollitt as he slipped the ball to his fellow back row forward. So on their own 25, it'll be Bill Gittings to put in for Coventry. Nastily back for Gittings, but Rossborough has it cleanly. Fine clearing kick, taking the pressure off Coventry for the time being. Back of the line there for Bristol, Andy Munden and Brian Holt. Two relative newcomers to top-class football, but have made their mark this season for their respective clubs. Peeling round the back of the Coventry scrum, Gittings feeds Cowman, jinks one way inside and goes the other. But a high kick, not where he'll want it, and it's bouncing loose. And strange tactics at the moment being employed by Dick Cowman there. One would have thought that with the speed and brilliance of the three-quarters outside him, he'd want to give them a feel of the ball early in the game, and that was clearly an opportunity he should have taken. There's Dave Duckham. We haven't seen him in play yet, and he could be the ace up Coventry's sleeve. And he's got it now. Jinks one man inside another. Duckham in full flight. He's 5 yards to go. Feeds inside. It must be a try. And the crowd rising to a brilliant individual piece of running by Dave Duckham, who fed John Barton inside, backing up in support for the opening score. Beautiful bit of running. And the result, ironically enough, of the first time that Dave Duckham got the ball. There's John Barton on the right. Moustached, experienced player, this. Well up in support as Duckham beat one man, then the next, to give Coventry their first score. Rossborough with the kick. But never looked like getting there. Short and to the left of the post. Peter Rossborough, a bit of an erratic goal kicker. 18 minutes gone, and Coventry draw first blood. Nichols with the kick-off for Bristol. Palm back on the Coventry side, but barging. And penalty to Coventry awards Johnny Johnson, the referee. And Rossborough once again kicking downfield. A neat spiralling screw kick, taking play once again into the Bristol 25. Ninnis to Gittings, to Cowman. He's feeding his line this time. That's Wardlow, and Rossborough in on the burst, but a fine tackle there by Chris Williams, but still it's Coventry with it. A cross kick there by Priest. And finally, safely into touch by Roger Swaffield, covering over to stem the tide of Coventry players. That's the first time we've seen an attacking move from the Coventry backs. They're forwards. They're relying on fair share of possession and not straight in the line out. And Bristol wisely opting for a throw again, remembering, of course, they've only got a 7-man scrum at the moment. They're some of the big men in the game. At the front there for Coventry, Keith Fairbrother. And behind him, Barry Ninnis. Ninnis goes up and back to Gittings, to Cowman. On the switch, it's Dave Duckham bursting through the centre. A loose pass outside to Alan Morley. The Bristol winger, but once again Duckham gathers a loose ball. Breaking across field, feeding Peter Priest, he can't hold it. And that's the sort of adventurous play we come to expect of David Duckham. He loves to take a ball loose and set up one of these scintillating attacking runs cross-field. And with the speed to back him up of Peter Priest there, a try could have been on, but Priest unable to gather. That's David Duckham, number 2. Pern loosely back to Nichols. Knight under tremendous pressure, but Nichols backing him up, but doesn't find touch. It's Rossborough, he'll run. It's meant to be a kick for his forwards, but went too far. And Knight will have plenty of time to put this one safely back into touch. There's Peter Knight with sweatband. Like his opposite number, Peter Rossborough, he's been capped for England too. 3 caps all told, 2 at fullback, 1 on the wing. And today, playing as letter A fullback for Bristol. Coventry balls a long one to the back of the line out. Hannaford. Back to Nichols. That's safe enough. Rather untidy line-out play so far, giving both scrum halves a lot of difficulty in getting the ball away. Up goes Watt, a beautiful jump there for Bristol. Out to Nichols. Nichols to Williams, who kicks through straight down the throat of Peter Rossborough, and he'll run. Beats one man, beats two, down the middle. Where's the support? It's not there, and finally the ball loose back on the Bristol side. Coventry gather. This is the one they want. Out. It goes to Dick Cowman. A drop. It's there. A neat little drop goal that by Dick Cowman. Puts Coventry further ahead after just 25 minutes of this first half. Dick Cowman, the capped England fly half, puts Coventry 7 points up. And it'll be Tony Nichols, the Bristol captain, in his second season as captain for Bristol, to restart. It's a nice kick, meant for Orledge, but he couldn't gather. And finally, it's loose back into touch. At the back there, we see Andy Munden, number 14 on Coventry side. That's John Barton. Coventry's line out, just outside their own 10-yard line. John Gray to throw in. Once again to the middle of the line, but not neatly back. Cowman to Gittings. That'll go straight in, and that means they'll have to come back for the line-out Bristol ball from the point at which Gittings kicked the ball. And we'd hear the first short one of the game, and at the back there we see Dave Watt, number 14 for Coventry on the right. That's John Barton. And we can expect this one to be thrown to Dave Watt. He should outjump John Barton. Almost worth playing in any team just for his line-out work. A real power in this department. 18 stone, 6'6", Dave Watt. Up he goes, neatly back to Pern, to Nichols. Dumm is on the inside, and that's Dandy on the burst, but he's held. Great bit of tackling that, but Bristol penalty once again for trying to pull a man over the ball from an offside position. And surely Alan Pern won't find this kick about 35 yards out, dead in line with the post, too difficult. It looks good. It's there. High through the middle of the post. And that's 3 more points to Alan Pern to add to his mammoth goal tally for this season. And never could they be more timely than at that moment. So just the one score in it at the moment. Dick Cowman to start. Coventry trying to work this ball back in the maul. And gradually pushing forwards as well. You'll see this is where the extra man makes the difference. In the tight play, when you get the extra shove. And Coventry, because they're going forward, get the advantage of the put-in. Bill Gittings. He's an experienced scrum half, and that's why he's preferred today to Chris Gifford, a young newcomer. Dick Cowman weaving his way out of trouble, but not quite well enough. That's Dave Rollett for Bristol. Charlie Hannaford, the other back row, out to Alan Morley. He can move. Chips ahead, brought down, but no offence, and it's Peter Rossborough covering well at full-back for Coventry to put the ball safely into touch, but that was a venturous play by Bristol. Alan Morley, Bristol expect great things of him this afternoon. He's a real speedy winger. 4 caps for England. And that's probably Bristol's best hope. Pern, round the blind side. Bristol want this heel desperately. And they have it. Pern flips it on to Nichols, but a bad kick across to Priest gathering for Coventry. And finally, Chris Wardlow for Coventry, a long bouncing kick. It's a beauty. Chris Wardlow, a real powerful player, showing a bit of deftness of foot there too, with his left-footed spiralling kick, which bounced way into the Bristol half. A great and the referee, Mr. Johnson, bringing the players back there, not happy with that throw-in. Bill Gittings, his experienced player, once again to feed Coventry scrum. They have it. Cowman dummies one man. That's the dummy twice. Out to Duckham on the burst. He's one man to beat. He goes outside him. He's home. David Duckham. And the crowd applauding that brilliant piece of play there. It was made by Dick Cowman, who did one dummy with his inside centre, dummied the second, and fed David Duckham on the burst on the wing with just Peter Knight to beat. And Duckham doesn't miss chances like that. Jim Broderick congratulating his club captain, David Duckham. A scintillating piece of play. Acknowledging there Dick Cowman. And after that beautiful piece of attacking three-quarter play, Peter Rossborough with this kick wide out, about on the 25-yard line, about 10 yards in from touch, attempts the conversion. It's a funny kick, but it's over. Well, that's an unorthodox style of sending the ball through the post, but it doesn't really matter as long as they go over. There's Dick Cowman, who laid on that last try with a beautiful piece of play at fly half. Obviously it looked like a rehearsed move, but my goodness, was it effective. Bristol then trailing by 10 points, and Nichols restarts. The advantage to Bristol there for the knock-on, and Pern puts a high one up, but not in the good position for his forwards to get at. An aggressive piece of play there. It was Dave Rollett, the Bristol flanker, who was on the receiving end, as one of the Coventry players grabbed him by the scruff of the neck from an offside position, and Pern will have another chance to reduce the leeway for Bristol. And Pern with this kick about 40 yards out. It's high, it might get there, it has. Just dropped over. Again, a beautiful kick by Alan Pern. So the leeway now, 7 points. With about 6 minutes left of this first half. Carmen with the kickoff. Loosely back on the Coventry side, that's Gittings, but no, says referee Johnson. A knock-on was spotted before that, and it'll be a scrum down. Bristol ball, just on their own 10-yard line, just about 2 minutes from half-time. And you saw a neat attempt there by the Coventry prop, Jim Broderick, to keep that ball in play as it came spinning out on this side, on the blind side to the referee, incidentally. Back on the Bristol side, a loose pass from Alan Pern to Morley. That's going to be underneath Rossborough, or rather Rossborough underneath it, tries to run it, but forced into touch by Morley following up his own kick. Look for Watt going up in this line out. Letter K on the Bristol side. But not so lucky this time, and back on Coventry side to Cowman, who puts a long high kick. Knight well across covering it, and he'll run it. He comes inside, beats one man. There's Rollitt in support, but the pass goes loose. Knight, an adventurous fullback there, showing just how a fullback can transform defence into attack. Gittings, the scrum wheeling round to Rosper on the blind, who he's running open. He's got 3 men outside him, but chips through. That's Mike Dandy. He's a fast winger, but he's running into trouble, but running out of it again. Good tackle that by Roger Creed. As play goes into injury time, and nothing's going to come out of that, so scrum down, defending side ball. So Mike Dandy's long run crossfield really came to naught in the end. Cowman, harassed by Rollitt. Duckham breaks inside. That's Brian Holt trying to burst down the middle for Coventry. Rollitt feeds Nichols. Nichols to Morley. He beats 2 men, bursting through on the left-hand side with the look at the Bristol back row forwards going up in pursuit. Pern picks up. But well into injury time now, and Coventry still by no means clear. Bristol hanging on well with 1 man down. And that'll be penalty to Coventry for a scrum infringement. And it'll be interesting to see if Rosper's going to have a go. And Dave Duckham walking through the Coventry pack, encouraging as Peter Rosper tries to put them further ahead with this long penalty kick. It's muffed it though, and it's bouncing loose in the Bristol 25 to the safe hands of Alan Pern. But he's short for once. Rosper again counter-attacking, coming up to the Bristol 25. And finally into touch there. Coming up to 6 minutes of injury time, and Bristol on their own 25 with the line out. Back on the Coventry side, held there by prop forward Broderick. And half-time with Coventry, 13 points to 6 in the lead. Perhaps a disappointing half, for after the tragic injury to John Pullin, we haven't seen the kind of flowing game we might have expected from these two sides.
The Bristol side then depleted by the absence of John Pullin, who's got a very bad knee injury and is in hospital. And this, once again, perhaps the most important time of the season, making the point that this stupidity of the substitute law of allowing substitutes only at international level or against international teams. Bristol all in white, trailing 13 points to 6 against Coventry without John Pullin, and this has made a bit of a nonsense of a final. Here now, Nigel Starmer-Smith.
And Alan Pern to kick off for Bristol. Long downfield, but the ball going into the in-goal area, and Dave Duckham it is who decides on making sure his side gets a 25 dropout. Bristol really up against it now, 14 men and 7 points behind. Coventry, one would have thought, could be more ahead if they'd run the ball more. Cowman with the dropout. That's Hannaford underneath. Big, strong Charlie Hannaford bursting downfield, well supported by Bob Orledge. That's a good ball for Bristol. Pern kicking towards the corner for winger Mike Dandy. Bouncing into touch, and immediately Bristol showing they're by no means out of the game yet. Gittings underneath that, tussling with Dave Watt there in the Bristol pack. Feeds Pern on the burst. Manages to get the ball somehow to Nichols, and that's Hannaford kicking it back. Watt once again with the ball. Fighting every yard of the way. Rollitt. Interception here by Wardlow, but it's a knock-on, and they'll come back. Desperation almost there by Bristol as they tried so hard to get that ball moving away from the pack. Obviously they at this stage must play the ball away from their tight forwards who are one down. That's Rossborough. Comes inside but can't give a good pass, and Morley picks up. Morley chipping through. He's got the speed. Wardlow covering brilliantly there. Wardlow saving what could well have been a scoring chance there for Alan Morley. He's a thinker, he sees the danger, and he covers. He covers indeed. One would have thought that Jeff Evans there, this brilliant runner who's back into such good form after injury, would have had a fair share of the ball today. Coventry rampaging downfield, but Charlie Hannaford counter-attacking for Bristol. There's Rollitt up in support once again. Rollitt chipping ahead, and surely that must be a penalty, if not a penalty try. And a blatant offence there as Rollitt tried to follow up, giving Pern an easy 3 points. Dave Rollitt, who bursting down the field there, was in with a good chance of a try before he was so blatantly obstructed. And Pern shouldn't have any trouble with this for a simple 3 points. Alan Pern taking his time, even though it's straight in front. You can never be sure. But I'll be surprised if he misses this. He hasn't. And Alan Pern, who scored all his side's points so far, gives them another 3 there. And Bristol still clearly well in this game. Just 1 try in it at the moment. And Dick Cowman restarts for Coventry. And nothing coming out of that as Bristol bundled into touch, and John Gray to throw in for Coventry. And Coventry really must be wondering how they come to be in this situation of only 4 points ahead with the possession and the extra man they have at the moment. This time they have it fed inside to Wardlow. He'll go hard, but a neat tackle there by Chris Williams brings him down. But Coventry once again attacking round the blind. This is the ruck ball they want, but it's held too long, and the Bristol players are there in strength too. Nothing will come out of that, decides Johnny Johnson, and Bristol were going forward at the last, so it'll be their ball. Pern feeds, but not in. And of course, Bristol without their star hooker pull-in, having great difficulty in these tight scrums at this stage. But Hannaford has it for them this time. Neatly fed out to Swaffield, who's got Morley outside him, but he can't get his pass in as Dick Cowman, covering well for a fly half, held Swaffield there. And this Bristol crowd urging on their 14 men, and man of the moment Roger Swaffield breaking away there, but unable to put Morley in the clear for a try as Gittings prepares to put in. Quite a job when the scrum's screwing around as it is at the moment, but this time steadily back. Cowman has it to Wardlow. Rossborough full back up in the centre, bursting through, but running back into his own pack. Still Coventry going forwards. This is good play. Rossborough again feeds Wardlow, who takes it well. But Wardlow stepping into touch as he tried to feed Cowman on the inside. That's more like the game one would expect to see Coventry playing at this stage. They're dominating the scrums, they're dominating the possession generally. And still, we've seen relatively little of the three-quarter line in action. Still that 4-point lead for Coventry as we move into the second half of the second half, so to speak. And barging at the back of the line out. And Coventry being a little careless at times. Alan Pern with the penalty. And a fine screw kick down to the halfway line. And once again, Bristol back on the attack. There's Alan Pern. Cowman comes back inside, and it's the high diagonal kick by Cowman for his wing. But in fact, it's Dandy busting down the right wing, but just gets into touch as he's tackled. There's Mike Dandy in this side as a replacement for the injured Ken Plummer, and in his first season with Bristol, and he's made quite a mark. 17 minutes of the second half gone. Bristol still fighting hard against the odds and still well in this game at the moment. All credit to their forwards. One's noticed there, Dave Watt. He's a power of strength. He's a great man in the tight, and as we've seen all afternoon in the line-out as well. Coventry have it round the blind side. Gittings just gets the ball into Freese, but he can't get anywhere and has eventually to go into touch. This time Bristol's throw. Up goes Watt, but not this time successful as the ball comes back on the Coventry side. Coventry trying to set up this ruck. And penalty there. It looked as though one of the Bristol players was in offside position in that ruck. And Rossborough will have a good chance here to put Coventry 7 points ahead, and that means that Bristol will have to score twice if this kick goes over. Rossborough with this penalty on the 25-yard line. It's round the corner style. A crucial kick and a good one. Coventry wanted that. Rossborough will be pleased with that. Now Bristol have to score at least twice. So the difference now 77 points as we come up to 20 minutes to go in this second half. Alan Pern looking to his captain for orders. Opts for the long kick out. And a good one too. It fooled Dave Duckham as he thought it would go straight into touch, but it bounced just short. And immediately Bristol back into attack. There we see Dave Watt, Charlie Hannaford at the back of the line. And we'll expect to see Pern again here with his 5th shot at goal. He's had 3 over already, and Bristol desperately need this one to be the 4th. Looks good. It's a fine kick, high and through the middle. And at a great psychological moment, Alan Pern has put Bristol back in the game again. So once again, Bristol within 1 score of Coventry. So just over a quarter of an hour left of this game as Cowman kicks off. Back it comes to Broderick on the Coventry side. He'll be looking to feed Gittings. He does, but loosely, and Gittings has a trouble with it. Rollitt's there. Still the ball going loose, but Cowman has it now for Coventry. Wardlow going for the dummy scissors, and a fine tackle there by the Bristol centre Chris Williams saved a dangerous situation. Bristol again, and poor old Chris Williams slices his kick way back, so it's his own winger gathering it. Mike Dandy, but Rossborough safely underneath, running across field, but running into trouble as he chips the ball through, and it's Alan Morley. Morley comes across back again, tries to get the ball away, but can't, just when he needed to. And if he could have slipped that ball then, the amount of support from the Bristol players could have made things very nasty for Coventry. There's Alan Morley, a game hard-running winger who we saw then just in his inimitable way counter-attacking with a great deal of verve and acceleration. Bristol once again, Pern chips through and is felled rather savagely, and it'll be a penalty from where the ball landed after he kicked it, and this will really put the match alive. Just the 1 point difference if this kick from Alan Pern goes over. And that kick really puts the result of this match in the balance. Just 1 point in it and less than 15 minutes to go. Alan Pern with his 5th penalty for Bristol reduces Coventry lead, as you see there, to just 1 point. Tremendous chanting here by the West Country supporters. Cowman kicks off for Coventry. The ball's not going to come out of that, so it'll be a scrum down for Coventry, midway between the Bristol 25 and 10-yard lines on the far side of the field. So really this game is wide apart at the moment, all to play for in this last quarter of an hour. Gittings to Cowman, misses a man. That's Evans running round, and Duckham beats his opposite number, but cuts inside Chris Williams. A good tackle there. Saves a desperate situation, but Duckham is down, and Williams too. It looked like a clash of heads as the two collided as Duckham ran through. And the crowd relieved that David Duckham able to carry on after that nasty clash, and the result of it all, this penalty attempt by Peter Rossborough. Just about 11 minutes to go of this game. Still poised on a knife edge. And so this kick by Peter Rosberg, all the more important. It's the wrong way round for this, round the corner kicker. But let's follow this one. It's spiralling over. And that was a vital kick for Peter Rosberg. When the pressure was on, he was able to produce the goods. And that eases Coventry's situation, but only slightly. One try would still do it for Bristol. They've been behind all through the game. They've been struggling to match Coventry. And they're still in with a chance. Byrne with the short kick out. Fairbrother that tries to gather, but that was a knock-on to start with. Keith Fairbrother, this vociferous hard man of the Coventry pack, number 8 there. You'll see him go down on this near side. A powerful 12 times capped prop forward. There's Alan Morley, desperately needs the ball because he's surely the ace in Bristol's three-quarter line. Let's see how Mike Fry will do at hooking. This great disability that Bristol now have has really played its mark in the game. Once again against the head for Coventry. And that's John Barton trying to burst through to set up the ruck. And Coventry, with this push, get the advantage of the put in there, still going forward. Bristol still desperately trying to hold the shove. And my goodness, this Bristol pack has worked hard. Just over 5 minutes to go. And of course there'll be a few minutes of injury time on top of that. Coventry break away at the back of the scrum, fed inside to Creed and Darnell up there too. That's Broderick. Forced into touch and taking the play into the Bristol 25. Four minutes plus injury time to go. 4 points the lead for Coventry. One try for Bristol would do it for them. But Coventry have it this time. Out they go on the blind. That looks like touch. I was going to say it looked as though he could be running through, but very quickly the touch judge, Lieutenant Parker, saw Fairbrother just into touch on that near side. Bristol wanting to clear their lines. Up goes Watt again, still dominating the line out. Byrne breaking off his own line, but losing the ball, but Hannaford there, and that's Evans. He's there. And that must be a critical score for Coventry as Jeff Evans picked up that loose ball and forced his way over. A little jink, half a sidestep, and he was there. And that surely must seal the game for Coventry. Rosberg trying for these extra 2 points. Tricky angle, but the right way for his round the corner style. But wide of the post. So just 2 minutes plus injury time to go, and Coventry once again increase their lead. Bristol have again to score twice. Broderick underneath that. He's played a great game for Coventry today. Bristol in the shape of Tony Rogers trying to set up a counter-attack. And as he does so, obstruction again by Coventry. And Pern perhaps will opt for the quick one. He does. Bristol need more than just the penalty points this time. Rollitt bursting straight at his man, hard running, and a sort of player good to have on your side, particularly when your back's to the wall. Bristol now have got to chance everything in these dying seconds. There's Dave Rollitt, the bottom of that ruck. And Bristol desperately need this ball. But yet again, no hooker, no ball. And safely Dick Cowman puts it away, just inside his own 10-yard line. And clearly the effort of the afternoon's toil, one man short in the pack, beginning to take effect. Some of these older players in the Bristol side, they average age 30, incidentally, really beginning to have some effect now, but my word, they've striven valiantly. And Cowman deciding to play safe as we come into injury time. And even some of the Bristol pack looking a little resigned to their fate, but all credit to them for the effort they put up this afternoon. There's Dave Watt again, catching it once more, fed down the Bristol line. Williams misses Adaman straight to Morley, but he can't hold his feet. And Coventry there in strength to stem any chance attack. The heaving, the struggling, the infighting for the ball. This is the thing that takes its toll when you're a player down. Bill Gittings. It'll be a great moment for him if he wins this cup today. Russborough kicking through for Duckham. He's got the speed, but so is Peter Knight and Alan Morley shadowing him for Bristol there. It was a clever little kick that by Peter Russborough, but his opposite number, Peter Knight, was quick to see it as well. Coming up to the second minute of injury time, and the scoreline clearly showing Coventry must almost be home and dry by now. Pern in real trouble in his own in-goal area, but he's playing bravely, trying to run it to Nichols, to Morley rather, under his own post he's held, but Bristol had to do this. It's their only chance. Pern again, a loose pass, Darnell, but in fact it was an offside position, and referee Johnson, to the relief no doubt of the Bristol supporters and players alike, able to give them a clearing opportunity. Run they must. Nichols. The loose ball. Several times we've seen this Bristol's best chances thrown away by a loose pass or a carelessly handled ball. Advantage there being played, but none given to Coventry, as obstruction from an earlier infringement gives them the scoring chance instead. Gittings, the set piece, back inside to the forwards, a good tackle there, and he's through. Coventry must have clinched it with that try by John Gray. It took Bristol by surprise. It looked as though the move had been halted, but the dummy had worked, and John Gray was there to clinch this game for Coventry in the 4th minute of injury time. And Rossborough trying to add the points to Coventry's 4th try of the game. But he misses it, but it doesn't really matter because referee Johnson blows for full time and the new RFU Club Knockout Championship champions are Coventry. Well deserved. 27 points to 15 they win, but spare a thought for Bristol, who struggled valiantly without the services after 3 minutes of John Pullin, their most experienced player, and surely this was a crucial difference.
And the news of John Pullin is that at the moment he's in a plaster cast. They think that he's torn some ligaments in his knee, which is rather a tragedy for a man of his stature who has given so much to rugby in the past couple of years. Now for some comments on the game, with me is John Burgess, the Lancashire coach. I was wondering, John, the game really sorted itself out when John Pullin left the field. What about the question of replacements?
Well, this is a question for the international board. It's been discussed at great length. The feeling is that this is a game for the players, and you have a lot of people standing on the side waiting to play. OK, at international level, this is a good thing. There's 60 or 70,000 people there, and you've not got to let those people down. But now we've introduced this competition and other competitions, I think it's only right and proper that this matter should be looked at again, because there's a great many people come here from Coventry and Bristol, spend a great deal of money, and here's a game which has been ruined, really, from their point of view, in the first 2 minutes. It's a tragedy, and it's a tragedy for the competition committee, who've done a lot of work trying to get this off the ground. So this is another case where I think it will give emphasis to replacements at top games.
Yeah. John, to me, I'm wondering what your thoughts are about cup competition, because I felt today there were far too many occasions of blatant obstruction, for instance. I mean, is this a legacy of cup competition? Would it have happened in a club game?
I think there are certain things which happened out there this afternoon, happening in a lot of cup games or competition games, which wouldn't happen in club games. I think, you know, in our game, you know, at all levels, there's a ratio. I always think about a ratio in my own mind, where the ratio is you go on the field to win, and the other side of the coin is you go on the field not to lose. I think in cup competitions, people tend to go on the field not to lose, and this puts a different emphasis on the whole game. Our game, you know, the essence of our game is playing rugby football, not winning pots and trophies, and I personally think that this competition will do good for the game. I think the newness of it, as in the players' mind, they say we must win it. It's new, we must win. But I think the boys will settle down. I wouldn't like to see more competitions, by the way. But I think there is a place in our game for a competition. But because too much competition, it'll be like a dragon, which will devour our game, in my opinion.
John, it's smashing to see you. Always great to have a little laugh with you, as well as a bit of tactical fun. Thanks very much.
Okay,
I hope, are you coming to the Sevens on next Saturday?
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed, just a quick word from Twickenham tonight. We should be back here in 7 days' time, and that's for the Middlesex Sevens, of course. Whatever else we can promise you plenty of action. Until next week, then, goodbye now.